The average person wastes 80% of their natural power source every single day, and I'm about to show you how to reclaim it. There's a force within you that most people never tap into. Not because they don't have it, not because it's difficult, but because they've been trained, yes, trained to ignore it, conditioned to overlook it, taught to scoff at it as nonsense. And every single day, because of this, they waste 80% of their own natural power source, without even realizing it. This isn't about philosophy. This isn't about belief. This is about reclaiming control over the single most overlooked force behind your health, your focus, your success, and your sense of fulfillment. Call it energy. Call it life force. Call it internal power. It doesn't matter what name you give it. The truth is, this force is real, measurable, and already influencing every single moment of your life. The difference? Right now, it's running you instead of you running it. Now, let's clear the air before we go any further. When people hear the word energy, their minds often leap to incense, robes, and chanting under the moon. Let's be honest. That's why most people tune out before they ever experience the truth for themselves. It all sounds a little too far out, too mystical, too woo-woo. That's the trap. That's the misinformation campaign that's been sold to billions. So here's the truth. Energy work isn't fluff. It's physics. It's neuroscience. It's biology. And more importantly, it's freedom. Once you understand how your energy works, how it flows, how it leaks, how it strengthens, how it interacts with other people, and how it creates your results, everything changes. You stop blaming your circumstances. You stop relying on motivation. You stop chasing. And you start mastering. From the inside out. No mantras needed. No ceremonies required. Just a ruthless commitment to understanding how you've been giving away your power and how to get it back. In this video, you're going to discover how energy really works without the spiritual fluff. You'll learn what modern science already knows but rarely talks about. You'll see the exact habits that are draining your energy every day. And most importantly, you'll unlock simple, actionable steps to take back control of your invisible force, the one you've been using against yourself without even realizing it. Because the moment you stop wasting your power is the moment you start living on a different frequency. One where energy equals magic. And that's not metaphor. That's mechanics. So let's get into it. Let's start by addressing the elephant in the room. Skepticism. That instant eye-roll reflex that kicks in the second someone hears energy work. It's common. It's normal. And it's exactly why most people remain stuck. They hear about people manipulating their energy field, feeling other people's vibes, tuning into frequencies, and they laugh it off. They shut down. They dismiss it all as nonsense because it doesn't fit into the physical, see it, touch it, measure it box they were trained to believe in. But here's the twist. That same skepticism is often the biggest indicator that someone is deeply disconnected from their own energetic reality. When you're truly in touch with your internal force, your energy field, your power, skepticism isn't your default anymore. Curiosity is, awareness is, presence is. That's when things begin to shift. Here's something wild to consider. Most of your thoughts don't come from you. Most of your emotions aren't fully yours. And most of your actions are influenced by fields of energy you never learned to see. That's not a theory. That's a practical observation when you start studying energy mastery. Because energy isn't just a metaphor, it's a language, and you've been speaking it since birth. Unconsciously, the real reason people dismiss energy isn't because it's not real. It's because they've never been taught how to feel it, so they assume it doesn't exist. But try this. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately sensed tension? Like you could cut it with a knife? Or met someone and instantly liked or disliked them before a single word was spoken? That's energy reading. That's your field interpreting information beyond the five senses. You see, you are more than just a body. You are an energetic system, constantly transmitting, constantly receiving, constantly interacting with forces you can't see, but absolutely can feel. That's where your power lies. Now let's break down why most people waste 80% of that power every single day. The first reason is simple: chronic distraction. Your energy flows where your attention goes. And in today's world, your attention is constantly being hijacked. Every ping, every buzz, every scroll, those aren't just time wasters. They're energy vampires. They split your focus, fragment your awareness, and drain your system. Each notification is a micro-leak in your energetic boundary. Second, emotional repression. Every time you suppress an emotion, anger, sadness, fear, you don't get rid of it. You bury it, but it still vibrates within your field, affecting how you think, act, and attract. The energy gets stuck, it stagnates, and it festers. That's why unprocessed emotions often turn into physical symptoms or mental blocks. You're not broken, you're blocked. Third, toxic environments. Not just physical ones, emotional and energetic ones too. That job you hate, that friend who drains you, that habit you know is destroying you but you keep doing anyway. Those are all energetic contracts you've signed unconsciously. And each one siphons energy from your core. Fourth, false alignment. Living a life that looks good but feels bad. Saying yes when you mean no. Staying small to keep others comfortable. That dissonance costs you more than just happiness. It bleeds your power dry. Every lie you tell yourself is a short circuit in your energy field. The truth always restores flow. Always. And finally, the big one, disconnection from the body. You were taught to live in your head, to overthink, to rationalize, to analyze. But energy flows through the body, not the mind. When you're disconnected from your physical sensations, your breath, your posture, your instincts, you're cut off from the very dashboard of your energy system. All these factors create leaks, and every leak pulls you further away from your full potential. That's why people feel tired for no reason. Why they're anxious even when nothing's wrong. Why they can't seem to focus, create, or connect no matter how hard they try. Because they're running on 20% power max. While their system is screaming for a reset. But here's the empowering truth. None of this is permanent. All of it is fixable. And it doesn't take years of study or spiritual awakening to turn things around. It just takes one decision. The decision to stop ignoring your energy and start working with it. Because when you reclaim even a small portion of your wasted energy, your entire reality starts to shift. You think clearer. You feel more grounded. You attract different people. You make different choices. And life doesn't feel like a struggle anymore. It feels aligned, potent, magnetic. That's what this video is about. Not abstract theory, not blind belief, but practical, real-world energy mastery that gets results. Fast. You're not broken. You're just blocked. And the tools to unblock yourself have been here all along. You were born with them. You just forgot how to use them. Until now. What if I told you that science has already proven your magical abilities? But this information is rarely discussed. This might sound shocking, but much of what you've been told about your limits is outdated. And in some cases, deliberately filtered. For decades, people have walked around thinking their potential ends at their skin. That their brain is the command center, and everything else is just biology and chance. But here's the hidden truth. Your entire body, your thoughts, and your emotions are part of a dynamic energy field that science has already confirmed exists. And this field isn't some vague concept. It's measurable, trackable, and incredibly powerful. In fact, several credible research institutions have spent years gathering hard data on human energy. But here's the catch, it rarely makes headlines. You won't hear it from mainstream media. You won't see it in standard school textbooks. Why? Because if the average person truly understood how powerful their energy field is, it would disrupt systems that depend on your disempowerment. There's a reason you feel someone's presence before they speak. There's a reason a strong emotion can be felt across a room. There's a reason your thoughts can influence your body's healing, your environment, even the outcome of situations. It all comes down to your bioelectromagnetic field. Yes, that's a real thing. And no, it's not spiritual jargon. It's science. Your heart emits the strongest electromagnetic field in your body. Stronger than your brain, and it's not even close. This field can be detected several feet away from the body, and it changes with every thought, every emotion, every breath. Studies by the HeartMath Institute have shown that your heart's rhythm patterns change depending on your emotional state. And these patterns influence your brain's performance, your immune system, and your ability to self-regulate. In other words, your energy isn't just reactive, it's directive. But let's go further. Princeton University ran an experiment called the Global Consciousness Project. They used random number generators stationed around the world, machines that generate pure chaos, pure randomness. But when global emotional events occurred, tragedies, celebrations, moments of mass focus, those machines stopped producing randomness. The patterns became ordered, structured, coherent. Think about that. Human emotion, broadcasted across the planet, was powerful enough to disrupt random data. That isn't metaphysics. That's data. That's proof. Your thoughts are not confined to your skull. They ripple out. They leave an imprint. Your emotions don't stay trapped inside you. They broadcast. They inform your field, and your field informs everything around you. We live in a soup of energy, and you're constantly participating in the shaping of it, whether you're conscious of it or not. Quantum physics has been screaming this truth for over a century. Everything at the smallest scale is energy. There are no solid particles, just vibrating fields of potential. And at the center of it all, observation, consciousness, intention. These aren't fringe ideas, they're foundational principles. When you observe a quantum system, it behaves differently. That's not poetry, that's experiment. When people say, energy follows thought, they're not being poetic. They're describing a fundamental law of nature. Where you place your attention, you influence the flow of energy. Where you sustain that attention, you shape reality. Let's pause on that, because the implications are massive. If energy follows thought, and if your energy is measurable, directable, and interactive, then every single thought you have is either charging or draining your field. Every emotion you sustain is tuning your frequency, pulling in people, situations, and experiences that match it. This is why two people with the same skills, the same background, and the same tools can have completely different outcomes. One is working in energetic alignment. The other isn't. This is where the mainstream has failed you. You've been taught that change happens from the outside in, that you need to adjust your circumstances to feel better, that success, health, and clarity are all products of environment, chance, or sheer willpower. But that's the old model. The truth is, your internal energy state, the way your field is calibrated, creates your external results, not the other way around. So how does this work practically? Let's talk coherence. When your thoughts, emotions, and physical body are aligned, your energy becomes coherent. Coherence is when all parts of your system are operating in rhythm. You feel calm. You feel alert. You feel powerful. In a coherent state, your heart and brain communicate effortlessly. Your immune system strengthens. Your decisions sharpen. Your intuition heightens. That's not a guess. That's measured through HRV, heart rate variability. It's one of the most powerful indicators of well-being known to science. Now contrast that with incoherence. When your mind is racing, your body is tense, and your emotions are scattered, your energy field becomes chaotic. Your systems are out of sync. Your decisions become reactive. Your body begins to break down. You feel overwhelmed, confused, tired. That's not weakness. That's physics. That's what happens when your field is fragmented. And here's where it gets wild. Your field doesn't just affect you. It affects others. Just like a tuning fork can bring another into resonance, your coherent field can shift a room. When you're stable in your energy, you influence the energetic state of others without speaking a word. That's the real power. Quiet, unshakable, magnetic. This is why some people just seem to have it. It's not their looks, not their charm, not their words. It's their energy. Coherent, focused, potent. And guess what? It's trainable. So why is this knowledge rare? Because a person who understands their energetic power doesn't need external validation, doesn't follow blindly, doesn't consume mindlessly. They become sovereign, independent, awake. And that's not profitable to systems designed to keep people weak, reactive, and distracted. So yes, your magical abilities have already been proven. They're just not called magic in labs. They're called measurable energy shifts. electromagnetic coherence, quantum influence, biological entrainment. But at their core, they're the same force ancient traditions spoke of, just wearing a lab coat instead of a robe. And now that you know this, you can't unknow it. You've been broadcasting energy your entire life. Every thought, every emotion, every choice. But now you understand how to start directing it with purpose. Because the truth is simple. Your energy is real, it's powerful, it's scientifically supported, and it's always been yours. Ready for the next level? There's a reason why some people walk into a room and instantly command attention. And it's not what you think. Some people have a presence so strong, the room shifts before they say a single word. Heads turn. Energy reorients. People lean in. And the reason has nothing to do with status, appearance, or even confidence in the way you've been taught to understand it. It's something far more primal, more potent, more subtle. It's their energy force, fully activated across dimensions, physical, emotional, and mental. Most people only ever use a fraction of their energy system. They operate on autopilot, stuck in one mode, one dimension. That's why they feel scattered, tired, overwhelmed. Their inner power is locked behind walls they didn't even know existed. But once you understand how your energy expresses itself through these three dimensions, you gain access to something that feels like a superpower but is, in fact, your natural state. Let's begin with the physical dimension. This is your body as a conductor. Not just a shell, not just flesh and bone, but a live wire for energy flow. Every movement you make, every breath you take, sends ripples through your field. Your posture? It's a frequency. Your breath rate? A rhythm. Your hydration, your sleep, your nutrition, they're not just physical habits. They're signals that calibrate your field. When your physical body is neglected, your entire energy force collapses. When it's activated, you become a beacon, strong, grounded, and resonant. Physical energy is also how you hold space. Ever stood next to someone and felt instantly calm? Or uneasy? Even without a word exchanged? That's their physical dimension speaking to yours. It's not about how much muscle someone has or how fast they move. It's about the charge they carry, the stillness or chaos that lives in their cells. And you can train that through breath, posture, movement, and presence. Then there's the emotional dimension. Your emotions are not just inner experiences. They're frequencies, they're fields. Joy, anger, fear, peace. Each one broadcasts at a specific vibration. And those vibrations are contagious. When someone walks in the room carrying unresolved anger, it doesn't matter how much they smile. You feel it. It leaks out through their tone, their tension, their timing. On the flip side, when someone is aligned emotionally, calm, focused, integrated, they radiate a kind of gravitational pull. That's not charisma. That's emotional frequency coherence. But here's where it gets interesting. Most people suppress or over-identify with their emotions. Both are forms of distortion. Suppression creates energetic blocks, like static in your signal. Over-identification floods your system, making you unstable and reactive. Mastery begins when you learn to observe the emotion, allow its frequency, and still choose your response. That level of control sends a signal through your field that others feel. It's the difference between someone who controls a room and someone who drains one. Now, let's go deeper, the mental dimension. Your thoughts are not trapped in your skull. They are structures, blueprints of energy that determine how your entire field behaves. Every thought pattern has a shape, a weight, a velocity. And these patterns determine whether your energy expands or contracts, whether it flows or fragments, whether you attract or repel. Someone who has spent years looping in thoughts of fear, doubt, and scarcity is walking around with a fragmented, brittle field. You can feel it in their indecision. You can see it in their body language. You can hear it in their voice. They don't need to say what they're thinking. It's written into the architecture of their field. In contrast, someone who trains their thoughts like a sculptor, chiseling focus, precision, and clarity, walks with a clean field, a stable structure. Their presence doesn't just demand attention, commands it, silently, automatically. Here's where the breakthrough happens. Most people operate predominantly in one of these dimensions. Some are all body, but disconnected emotionally and mentally. Others are highly emotional, but physically depleted and mentally erratic. And then there are those who live entirely in their heads, cut off from the power of their body and the wisdom of their emotions. This fragmentation is what creates imbalance, fatigue, and confusion. It limits your access to your own energy. But when all three dimensions align, that's when the magic starts. Your body channels energy like a rooted tree. Your emotions amplify your field like waves across a lake. And your thoughts structure that energy into clear, magnetic intention. You become more than a person. You become a signal. And this signal speaks for you, long before you open your mouth. That's why some people have it. That unnameable something you can't quite describe. They've activated and integrated all three dimensions of their energy. They walk into a room and people feel them, not because they're louder, but because they're clearer. Their signal cuts through the noise. This is not mystical fluff. It's physics. Coherence across dimensions creates a stronger field. Stronger fields influence weaker ones. You become the dominant energy in any space you enter, not because you overpower, but because you're aligned. And here's the kicker, you don't need to be perfect in all three. You just need awareness and activation. You need to begin treating your thoughts as architecture, your emotions as waves, your body as a vessel. Each needs to be tuned, aligned, and directed. Start by checking in. Which dimension do you rely on most? Which one feels underdeveloped? Are you thinking clearly but emotionally unstable? Are you physically strong but mentally scattered? Are you emotionally attuned but physically drained? Once you see the imbalance, you can correct it. You can begin integrating. You can start commanding attention not through effort, but through frequency. Because people don't follow words. They follow energy. They trust coherence. They respond to integrity. They align with power that's not forceful but stable. When you master your three dimensions, you no longer chase influence. You become the influence. This is your secret force. Quiet, invisible, but undeniable. It doesn't need to be explained. It just needs to be felt. Now you know. And you're just beginning to access a version of yourself that most never meet. Ready to go further? That afternoon crash isn't about coffee or sleep. It's about the invisible holes in your energy field that no one taught you how to patch. You felt it before. That slump. That haze that creeps in around mid-afternoon or even earlier. No matter how much you've slept, how much caffeine you've consumed, or how healthy you ate, it hits like a wall. And you've been told it's normal. That it's just part of the rhythm of a busy day. But here's the truth. It's not about energy input. It's about energy leakage. You are not running out of energy. You are bleeding it. Most people walk around with open circuits, unsealed, unprotected, unaware. And these leaks don't just drain your vitality. They distort your perception, cloud your judgment, and weaken your ability to focus, feel, and function. The result? A life that feels like effort without reward, movement without progress, rest without restoration. Let's start with the 5 most common energy drains that are silently pulling power from your field every single day. First, unresolved emotional tension. You can't see it, but your nervous system can feel it. A single interaction, a comment that rubbed you the wrong way, an argument that never got closure. It lingers, it loops, and every time your mind revisits it, even subconsciously, you pour energy into a leak. That memory acts like an open app running in the background, small but constant, drawing power. And because it's emotional, it leaves a frequency residue in your field. It lowers your vibrational set point, making you more reactive and more likely to attract similar emotional disruptions. Second, environmental chaos. Clutter isn't just visual, it's energetic. Whether it's a messy desk, a disorganized room, or a crowded digital inbox, your environment is constantly communicating with your energy field. Disarray sends a subtle message to your nervous system. You are not safe. You are not clear. You are not in control. That triggers a low-grade stress response. You begin leaking energy just from being in a space that confuses your brain and fragments your focus. Third, digital overstimulation. This one is massive. Every scroll, every notification, every algorithmic swipe fractures your energy field. Your attention is your most precious currency, and when it's spread thin, you become energetically porous. That constant input doesn't just distract you. It destabilizes your inner rhythm. You start syncing with the chaos of the feed instead of the natural coherence of your own field. And once that happens, the leak becomes a flood. Fourth, people who feed off your energy. These aren't always toxic people in the traditional sense. Sometimes they're just energetically mismatched. People who demand your attention, your time, your validation. Without offering energetic reciprocity, you leave interactions with them feeling depleted, anxious, or foggy. These are what some call energy vampires, but it's more accurate to call them energy mismatches. When your field is strong, you can handle imbalance temporarily. But when it's already leaking, one mismatched conversation can knock you out for hours. Fifth, internal resistance. This one's subtle. It's the friction between who you are and who you're pretending to be. The disconnect between your words and your truth. The way you force yourself to stay in situations, relationships, jobs, or behaviors that feel wrong on a soul level. That kind of misalignment creates a rupture in your energy field. It's like trying to pour energy through a kinked hose. The pressure builds, then leaks sideways. You can't maintain clarity while living in contradiction. Resistance is a leak, and it's one of the most corrosive kinds. Now here's the part no one teaches. Energy leaks aren't just psychological. They're physiological and electromagnetic. Your nervous system, your heart field, your brainwave patterns, they all respond to these disruptions. You literally change frequency when you're leaking. You become more susceptible to illness, anxiety, confusion, and even external manipulation. Because your field isn't sealed. It's fractured, and the world moves in through the cracks. So how do you patch these leaks? First, you must become aware of them. Start with this simple assessment. At the end of the day, when do you feel most drained? After which conversations? In which environments? During what thoughts? Energy leakage often leaves clues in your physical sensations. Tight chest, shallow breath, jaw tension, gut discomfort. These are not just stress symptoms. They're your body's way of saying, we're leaking. Second, practice energetic boundaries. This isn't about being cold or cutting people off. It's about owning your field. When you walk into a space, don't just be there. Claim the space with your presence. When someone's energy feels off, visualize your own field stabilizing and shielding, not resisting. Resistance creates cords. Stabilization ends them. Third, reset your field frequently. You don't have to wait for burnout. Take 60 seconds, multiple times a day, to bring your awareness inward. Breathe into your center. Feel your field. Ask, where am I leaking? Just this question begins the process of energetic repair. Fourth, detox your inputs. Clean your space. Silence the unnecessary noise. Choose your digital interactions with intention, not addiction. Every piece of input you consume either nourishes your field or fragments it. Choose like your energy depends on it, because it does. Fifth, reclaim your sovereignty. Start aligning your choices with your actual truth, not your fears. The more authentic you become, the less resistance you carry. The less resistance, the fewer the leaks. Every lie you tell yourself is a hole. Every truth you live becomes a seal. When you begin plugging the invisible holes, your energy stops seeping out and starts building up. You feel more focused, more alive, more magnetic. And this doesn't take years. Can begin today, with one choice, one awareness, one boundary. Because the real reason you're tired isn't your lifestyle. It's the way you've been bleeding energy through holes no one ever showed you how to see, let alone close. But now you can see them. Your body has been screaming this information at you your entire life. And today you'll finally learn to understand its language. There is a silent code embedded within your body. A stream of signals, pulses, and sensations you've been trained to ignore. Your body has always known when your energy is off. It doesn't whisper, it screams. But because you were never taught the language of your own field, you misinterpret it as fatigue, anxiety, restlessness, or just another bad day. The truth? These are readings, live diagnostic updates from your internal energy system. And it's time you learned how to listen. You are not a closed system. You are an antenna, constantly transmitting and receiving frequencies. Your emotions are not random. Your thoughts are not floating in a void. They shape, distort, and amplify the invisible architecture of your energy field. And this field is more intelligent than you've been told. Right now, your energy field is mapping every interaction, every emotion, every intention. It knows when you're aligned. It knows when you're scattered. It knows when you're leaking, blocked, or overstimulated. But the key isn't to guess. It's to read, clearly, directly, and consistently. The first step in energy diagnostics is presence. Not the kind where you pause for a deep breath and then go back to autopilot. No. This is full energetic awareness. Close your eyes. Inhale through your nose, slowly, and exhale even slower. Let your attention drop from your mind into your body. Scan it. Start from the top of your head and move down. Where is there tension? Heaviness? Tingling? Numbness? These sensations aren't just physical. They are energetic markers. A buzzing sensation in the chest? Often a sign of emotional congestion. Tightness in the throat? Energetic suppression. Pressure around the forehead? Mental overstimulation or misalignment. Cold feet or hands. Circulatory signals, yes, but also potential blockages in energetic grounding. Now move into what you're feeling emotionally without judgment. Not what happened today, but what you feel right now. Is there sadness, irritation, joy, confusion, numbness? These emotions are colorations in your field. Each has its own frequency, and each one, if left unacknowledged, becomes embedded. Your job isn't to fix them in this moment. Your job is to register them, like an instrument learning to tune itself. Your body is your diagnostic tool. But only if you stop overriding its messages. There are 3 key times during your day when energy diagnostics are most revealing. Immediately upon waking. Before the mind takes over, your field gives a raw report. Are you groggy or alert? Peaceful or tense? Any strange dreams? That in-between state is when your subconscious still communicates in energetic language. Write it down. Mid-afternoon. Not just because of fatigue, but because this is when most people lose energetic coherence. Check in. Do you feel scattered, dull, or craving stimulation? That's a sign your field is destabilizing. A quick body scan here often reveals the morning's leaks. Before sleep, this is when your body tries to restore balance, but it needs a clean signal. Are you carrying unresolved tension from the day? That tightness in the chest or buzzing in the limbs? That's unprocessed energy. Reading it before bed helps prevent energetic buildup that disrupts your rest. Now let's go deeper. Your energy field operates in patterns. Just like you have habits of thought and behavior, you have habits of frequency. These can be mapped. Start a 7-day energy journal. Not to write long reflections, but to track simple things. How you feel when you wake up. The moment you feel a dip. Your energy after certain people, environments, or tasks. Over time, you'll notice the loops. The highs. The drops. That's your energetic blueprint coming into focus. But there's a key distinction that changes everything. Synthetic energy versus authentic energy. Synthetic energy is the kind you borrow from caffeine, adrenaline, stress responses, dopamine hits from social media. It feels like energy, but it's not coming from your field. It's being extracted through force. And the crash is always waiting on the other side. Authentic energy? It flows. It builds. It sustains. It's not jittery. It's not urgent. It's clear. It's vibrant. You feel it as a hum beneath the surface. A sense of being plugged in to your own power. This is the energy that comes from alignment, not stimulation. How do you tell the difference? Check the aftermath. Synthetic energy leaves you feeling wired but tired, restless but dull. You may get things done, but you don't feel nourished. You feel used. Authentic energy leaves you feeling expansive, calm, and focused. Even after action, you feel restored. Reading your field means learning to tell when you're operating from depletion masked as momentum or true inner fuel. And your body has always known the difference. You've just been taught to override its signals with distraction, productivity, or false urgency. But now you know the code. You can read the tight jaw, the shallow breath, the itchy skin, the foggy mind, not as symptoms to fix, but as signs to decode. Each one a whisper from the field, saying, "Something is off. Pay attention." The more you listen, the more the field responds. You build a relationship with your energy system. It starts giving you clearer signals, more precise feedback, and eventually, it becomes a language you speak fluently. You stop guessing. You stop chasing. You begin knowing, because your energy field is intelligent. It's conscious. It's responsive. And it's always been trying to talk to you. The question is, are you finally ready to listen? This 3-minute technique has been used by ancient civilizations to instantly clear negative energy. And it works just as powerfully today. There's a reason your energy feels clouded, heavy, or blocked, despite everything you're doing to stay positive. The truth is, energetic clutter doesn't care how productive you are. It doesn't care how spiritual you sound. If you're not clearing your field, you're collecting debris. And just like a room full of dust eventually suffocates the air, your energetic system begins to choke on unprocessed emotion, thought forms, and energetic residue. But here's the part no one talks about. Clearing your energy doesn't require candles, crystals, or chanting under a full moon, unless you want it to. It's not about rituals. It's about resonance. The ancient techniques that have stood the test of time were built on one principle. The body and the field are mirrors. When you shift one, the other follows. There's a technique that's been passed down in various forms for thousands of years. It's simple, it's fast, and it works. Stand up. Place your feet firmly on the ground. Raise your arms above your head. Inhale deeply. Now swing your arms down quickly and exhale sharply, like you're throwing something out of your hands. Do this 3 times. Feel the shift? That's your field discharging stagnant energy. That's the reset. It's not about the movement itself. It's about the intention behind the movement. Your nervous system recognizes the signal. Your energy field obeys it. With practice, that single gesture becomes a trigger, a command to purge, reset, and realign. But clearing doesn't stop at movement. Sound is a clearing agent, not music. Frequency. Ancient civilizations understood this intuitively. Chanting, drumming, flutes, bowls, these weren't decorations. They were tools. Modern science has finally caught up. Specific frequencies like 528 Hz and 417 Hz actually shift the electromagnetic output of your heart field. You're not just hearing them. Your field is bathing in them. Here's how you use it practically. The next time your energy feels heavy, play a 528 Hz tone in the background. Sit still. Breathe. Let it wash through you. Don't analyze. Don't force anything. Just receive. Your field knows what to do with purity. It reorganizes itself around it, like iron shavings aligning to a magnet. Still feeling resistance? Then it's time for a technique as old as time, salt water. Salt is one of the most powerful natural purifiers on Earth. It's not symbolic, it's functional. Salt holds a crystalline structure that disrupts lower frequencies. Here's how to use it. Fill a bowl with water. Add a tablespoon of sea salt. Stir it slowly. Place your hands above the bowl. Close your eyes. Speak this silently. I release all energy that does not belong to me. I call back my power now. Let your hands hover. You'll feel it heat, tingling, pulsing. That's the exchange. After a few minutes, pour the water down the drain. Not outside, not in plants. Down the drain. You've just completed a field cleanse. Now let's talk about boundaries, not the emotional kind. The energetic kind. You don't need to cut people off to protect your field. You need to seal your field so you're not constantly absorbing frequencies that were never yours to begin with. This doesn't make you antisocial. It makes you sovereign. Every time you leave your house without energetic preparation, it's like walking barefoot on gravel, unprotected and vulnerable to whatever you step into. Before you walk into the world, do this. Close your eyes. See yourself surrounded by a soft golden sphere, 3 feet in every direction. Say silently, I am fully sealed in my energy. What is not mine cannot enter. This isn't fantasy. It's code. Your subconscious obeys imagery. Your field obeys command. With repetition, it becomes automatic. Still doubting it works? Think about how you feel after certain places or people. Some drain you, others recharge you. That's energy transfer, not theory experience. And once you're aware, you get to choose what you allow in. Clearing is not a one-time fix. It's a daily hygiene. Just like brushing your teeth or washing your face, your field needs maintenance. Neglect it and the buildup shows. In your mood, your focus, your body. Clear it and your natural power returns like a flood. But here's the real secret. Energy clearing is less about getting rid of something and more about remembering who you are when you're not carrying everyone else's noise. The clearer your field, the louder your intuition. The stronger your focus, the sharper your intentions. You stop being reactive. You start becoming magnetic. And what used to feel like struggle becomes flow. Most people are walking around with layers of energetic static from years, sometimes decades, of unconscious absorption. It's not their fault. No one taught them. But once you know this, once you feel the difference after a clearing session, you'll never want to go back to being fogged up, drained, or distorted. And this isn't about being perfect. It's about staying aware. You don't clear energy to be good. You clear it to be you. Unfiltered, unclouded, unbound. You are not too sensitive. You are highly tuned. And in a world that numbs, dulls, and distracts, clearing your field is the most radical act of self-respect. So whether it's a 3-minute breath movement purge, a 528 Hz frequency immersion, a saltwater ritual, or a golden shield before stepping out the door, you now have the tools to reclaim your power from everything that doesn't serve your field. Because the next level of your life doesn't require more hustle. It requires a clear signal. What if your negative emotions are actually your greatest untapped power source? Here's how to transform poison into medicine. You've been told to avoid negativity, suppress it, escape it, override it with positivity, distraction, or some forced mindset shift that barely lasts beyond the moment. But here's the raw truth. Your negative emotions aren't here to be rejected. They are raw fuel, pure energy in an unrefined state. Not a curse, not a flaw, just potential waiting to be processed. When you experience anger, sadness, jealousy, fear, those aren't enemies. They are energetic surges. And every single surge is carrying a coded message. Transmute me. The mistake most people make is assuming these energies are blocks. But a block is just energy that hasn't moved yet. An energy that hasn't moved, that's power you haven't claimed. Energy alchemy is not about becoming a better person. It's about becoming a more powerful conductor of all frequencies within you. Alchemy is the ancient science of transformation, and in this context, it's not about turning lead into gold. It's about turning heaviness into fuel, chaos into clarity, pain into purpose. Let's begin with the most accessible tool, your breath. Ancient traditions didn't overcomplicate this. They used rhythmic breathing patterns to shift states instantly. Breath is the carrier wave of life force. When you direct it with awareness, you move stagnant energy out of the field and into motion. The first transmutation breath is simple. Inhale through the nose for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Exhale through the mouth for 8. That exhale, long and complete, is your signal to the nervous system to release. Not just mentally, energetically. Do this for 5 rounds. Don't think. Just breathe. By the end, you'll feel a shift. The pressure lifts. The emotion softens. That's energy beginning to obey your will instead of controlling it. Now add movement. Not for fitness, for flow. Modern life keeps energy stuck. Sitting, scrolling, tensing. But your body is designed for motion, and through motion, emotion releases. Try this. When you feel that internal pressure, rage, anxiety, grief, go into a private space. Put on sound without lyrics. Let your body move instinctively. No choreography, no goal, just movement. Shake, roll, stretch, twist. Let your body speak what your mouth doesn't know how to say. This is somatic release, and it bypasses your intellect completely. It doesn't need analysis. It needs freedom. As your system clears, it becomes more receptive to intention. And this is where true energy alchemy begins. Intentions aren't wishes. They're vibrational commands. When you state something with presence, your field begins to align with that statement. Try this simple format. I allow this energy to transform into clarity, strength, peace, your choice. Say it during breath work. Say it after movement. Say it as you feel the emotion crest and fall. You're not denying the emotion. You're converting it. Here's something radical. Anger can become boundaries. Fear can become intuition. Jealousy can become clarity about what you want. These aren't just ideas, they're energetic truths. Each so-called negative emotion has a positive polarity that becomes available once you acknowledge and process it. But you have to stop resisting the discomfort. Resistance locks energy in place. Acceptance melts it into something usable. Let's talk about fire, literal and symbolic. Fire transforms. That's its nature. And inside you is a fire center, what ancient systems called your solar plexus. It's not poetic. It's literal energy concentrated in the area just above your navel. When you feel resentment, frustration, or deep inner conflict, that's the fire being suppressed. Try this simple fire transmutation practice. Stand with your feet grounded. Place both palms over your belly. Breathe in through the nose. On the exhale, breathe through the mouth with a sharp ha sound. Feel your core engage. Do this 3 times and then speak aloud. I burn what no longer serves me. I stand in my power now. Your words are not decoration. They are ignition. Now, let's address a deeper truth. Transmutation doesn't mean the pain never existed. It means you've absorbed its essence and turned it into strength. This is not denial. This is evolution. You become more, not less, by embracing your full energetic spectrum. There's also a unique technique most overlook: channeling emotional energy into focused action. When you feel a wave of intensity, instead of suppressing it or reacting impulsively, redirect it. Clean your space, right? Speak into a recorder. Lift something. Build something. Channel it into creation. Creation is the highest octave of transmutation. Every time you choose this path, you condition your nervous system to respond differently. You train your field to repurpose chaos into clarity. Over time, your inner reality becomes immune to external manipulation. Not because you're blocking negativity, but because you've learned how to convert it. This is the path of the energy alchemist. And it's not mystical. It's mechanical. Input equals output. You change the processing system, you change the product. You take in pain. You process it consciously. You output clarity, strength, momentum. That's not magic. That's mastery. You'll start noticing something else, too. People around you will feel the shift. They may not understand it, but they'll respond to it. Because alchemy doesn't stay inside you. It radiates. You become the frequency of transformation. People feel better in your presence, not because you fixed them, but because your field is harmonized and theirs begins to follow suit. This is why energy alchemy matters more than affirmations or mindset hacks. Those are surface. This is root. And the deeper your roots, the higher you rise. Let the world keep pretending positivity is the only acceptable state. You now know the truth. Every emotion has a frequency. And every frequency can be tuned, shaped, and elevated. So the next time you feel an emotional surge, don't run. Don't fight. Transmute. Because inside every difficult feeling lies your next breakthrough. Your room is either charging or draining your energy battery right now. Let me show you how to create spaces that amplify your power 10x. Your environment is not neutral. It's not just background noise. Every object, every color, every placement of furniture, every pile of clutter or absence of it, interacts with your energy field. And the truth is, most people live inside spaces that are subtly robbing them of clarity, vitality, and focus without them even realizing it. You've already learned how to manage your inner field, but now it's time to align the outer one. Because your external environment is a mirror. And if that mirror is distorted, your energy will be too. Walk into any room, and your nervous system responds instantly. Not in words, but in signals. Safety or tension. Ease or restlessness. Expansion or constriction. These reactions don't come from your intellect. They come from your body's subtle energy processors, the same ones that know when someone's watching you. Or when the vibe just feels off. Let's decode how your space is shaping your power. First, the air itself. What you breathe is what you become. Stale air traps stagnant energy. If your room has poor ventilation, your thoughts will feel clouded and your energy will feel stuck. Open your windows regularly. Let the air exchange with the world. It sounds simple, but it shifts the charge of a room almost immediately. Now go deeper. Look at your surfaces. Flat spaces, desks, counters, shelves are energetic magnets. Whatever you place there builds an energetic message. Clutter is not just mess. It's a frequency that tells your subconscious. There's no room for clarity. Every object you own has a charge, a memory, a meaning, and that meaning echoes through your space whether you're conscious of it or not. If you want to amplify your personal power, start by asking this question. Does everything in this room support the version of me I'm becoming? Be ruthless, not sentimental. Energy doesn't care about nostalgia. Cares about alignment. Let's move to shape and flow. Traditional systems like feng shui weren't just superstitions, they were intuitive sciences. They recognized that energy moves through space like water. And when that movement is blocked, the body and mind reflect it. Check the flow in your room. Is there space to move freely? Or are you weaving around obstacles? Navigating chaos? Tolerating cramped arrangements? Clear the path. Open the flow. Now bring in frequency enhancers, items that radiate clean energy. Plants, not plastic ones. Living, breathing, chlorophyll-packed conduits of bioenergy. They purify air and emit a subtle vibration that balances your space. Crystals, if chosen intuitively, can hold and amplify intentions. Selenite, black tourmaline, clear quartz, each has a unique resonance. Not for decoration, for function. Then consider sound. Every space has a sound imprint. Silence is golden, yes, but intentional sound is alchemy. A low-frequency hum from an appliance you've tuned out can still stress your system. Switch it off. Add sound intentionally. Soft ambient frequencies, solfeggio tones, or simply the resonance of your own voice. The room responds. Let's talk about lighting. Fluorescent light flickers at a frequency that drains your life force. Replace it with warm, natural light when possible. Use candles, Himalayan salt lamps, or soft LEDs. Your eyes aren't just seeing light. Your energy field is absorbing it. One of the most overlooked energetic components is your bed. Where you sleep is where your energy resets every single night. But most people allow their bed to absorb stress, digital residue, and chaotic thought forms. Clean your sheets with intention. Keep your phone far from your head. Place an object near your bed that represents calm, like a smooth stone, a sacred symbol, or even a phrase written with intention. This is not superstition. It's signaling. You're programming the energy of the space to match your highest state. Now consider color. It's not just about style. Color carries vibration. Deep reds ground. Blues calm. Whites purify. Greens restore. Use color strategically, not to impress others, but to harmonize your frequency. Choose tones that make your body feel relaxed and your breath deepen. That's your cue. And here's a radical idea. Every single room in your space should have a dominant energetic purpose. Place for clarity. Place for rest. Place for expansion. When energy is mixed and scattered, your system reflects it. When it's organized and clear, your energy sharpens like a blade. Want to create a true power space? Choose one room or corner that becomes your energy command center. This is where you go to reconnect with yourself. Keep it clean. Keep it sacred. Use it for meditation, journaling, breathwork, whatever tools align you. Over time, that area becomes energetically charged. Your body will feel it the moment you step into it. Let's not forget the invisible invaders. digital devices. Phones, routers, screens, all emit electromagnetic frequencies. These are not neutral. They interfere with your natural biofield. If you can switch Wi-Fi off at night, use grounding mats, keep screens out of your sleep space, and when you're doing energy work, put all devices in another room. Your field deserves undisturbed frequency. Now ask yourself this: is your environment amplifying your energy or diminishing it? Because here's the truth. You don't rise above your environment. You rise with it. You could do all the inner work in the world, but if your surroundings are misaligned, your field is constantly being pulled back into low vibrational states. You're not weak. You're just in the wrong frequency container. This isn't about having a big house or expensive decor. It's about energetic intention. A clean, small room with aligned elements can charge you more than a mansion filled with chaos. Your field doesn't care about square footage. It cares about frequency. Now imagine walking into a room where everything supports your expansion. The air is clear. The light is soft. The sound is intentional. The objects are sacred. The energy moves freely. Your nervous system relaxes. Your clarity sharpens. Your intuition speaks louder. That's not a luxury. That's a necessity, especially if you want to access the next level of energy mastery. So don't just clean your space. Consecrate it. Program it. Claim it. Because your environment isn't just where you live. It's where your energy either dies slowly or is reborn with every breath. And when your outer world begins to reflect your inner alignment, manifestation stops being a struggle. It becomes automatic. The secret frequency code to manifestation that explains why some people attract success effortlessly while others struggle for years. Let's get one thing clear. Manifestation isn't about wishful thinking. It's not about vision boards, pretty journals, or repeating mantras until your voice cracks. The truth is far more powerful and far less discussed. The reason some people manifest results seemingly overnight while others feel stuck for years has nothing to do with luck, and everything to do with energetic precision. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are energetically. Every desire you hold already exists on a frequency, and whether you realize it or not, your personal energy field is constantly broadcasting a signal. That signal is either in sync with what you want, or it's repelling it. This isn't spiritual poetry. This is frequency mechanics. Think of it like radio waves. If you're tuned to 98.3 FM, but the song you want is on 105.7, it doesn't matter how badly you want to hear it. It's not going to come through. Your job isn't to chase the song. It's to tune the dial. And your life plays a different melody instantly. This is the part most people get wrong. They set goals. They visualize. They script. But underneath all that, their energy is filled with doubt, resistance, or unconscious fear. That's the real frequency, and the universe responds to that, not the words. Energetic precision begins with emotional calibration. Not positive thinking in the superficial sense, but an internal alignment where your feelings match the outcome as if it's already done. Let's decode this. If your goal is financial freedom, but you constantly feel anxiety, survival stress, or shame around money, you're emitting a scarcity signal. An abundance, which exists on a completely different wavelength, simply doesn't recognize you. There's no malice, no punishment, just misalignment. So how do you align? Start with state over strategy. Your energetic state must become the foundation for every move you make. Before you plan, act, or speak, pause. Ask, what frequency am I in right now? If the answer is stress, fear, or desperation, stop. Reset. Acting from a scrambled frequency creates distorted results. The most magnetic people in the world aren't doing more. They're radiating more. Now here's where it gets deeper. Manifestation isn't just about matching the frequency of what you want. It's about maintaining that frequency long enough for reality to restructure itself around it. Most people fluctuate. One moment they feel powerful, the next they collapse into doubt. And every time you drop out of alignment, the signal weakens. That's why consistency is the real power move. Not in effort, in energy. This is where the feeling frequency connection becomes your greatest tool. Because your body knows the truth long before your mind catches up. When you focus on a desire, drop into the body and ask, does this feel like safety or stress? Expansion or contraction? Flow or friction? When it feels like expansion, even if it's unfamiliar, you're on the right path. But when it feels tight, pressured, or forced, you're pushing against the current of your own energy field, and that creates resistance, delays, and confusion. You see, thoughts don't manifest. Feelings do, because feelings carry the energy signature. They're the vibrational blueprint that tells the quantum field what to mirror back. So stop asking, how will it happen? And start asking, how do I feel when it's already done? That's where your power lives. Let's go further. Your thoughts are important, yes, but only when they're emotionally charged. That's when they become magnetic. And the most magnetic thought of all is one fused with certainty. Not the frantic certainty of force, but the quiet, grounded certainty of alignment. There's a reason monks, mystics, and ancient energy masters could create outcomes with minimal effort. They mastered the internal frequency first. The outer world followed as a result, not as a goal. Here's a powerful practice to recalibrate your field. Every morning, before you look at your phone, speak to anyone, or engage the outside world, tune your field. Close your eyes and bring up the end result of your desire. Not as a hope, as a felt reality. Let it pulse through your cells. Let it become familiar. The more often you visit that energetic version of yourself, the more dominant it becomes in your field. Eventually, it overrides the old pattern, and reality catches up. This is not magic. It's precision. Now understand this. The universe is not testing you. It's matching you. If something hasn't arrived yet, it's not because you're being punished. It's because your frequency hasn't reached the threshold of reception. Think of it like unlocking a safe. The code has to be exact. One digit off and nothing moves. So the question becomes, are you in tune with the code of your desire or a distorted version of it? Here's a truth that will save you years. You can't fake frequency. You can't trick the field with words or rituals. Energy doesn't listen to your lips. It listens to your coherence. So build coherence daily. That means aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions into one clear direction. No double signals. No hoping for one thing while expecting the opposite. No saying you trust while obsessively controlling every outcome. Let it be simple, clean, precise. Now, remember this critical point. The people who manifest with ease aren't doing things you can't do. They're not chosen. They're calibrated. Their internal environment matches their external desires. Your job is not to force things to happen. Your job is to become the version of you for whom those things already exist. When that alignment is real, life rearranges itself around you. Opportunities appear. People show up. Synchronicities multiply. Not because you forced it, but because your frequency finally matched the coordinates of your desire. So stop chasing. Start tuning. Stop forcing. Start feeling. Stop doubting. Start aligning. Because the secret code to manifestation is not written in books or hidden in techniques. It's pulsing right now through your energy field, waiting for you to stop distorting it with fear and start broadcasting it with clarity. This daily 10-minute protocol has helped thousands transform their energy from depleted to limitless, and it's simpler than you think. Your day doesn't start when you open your eyes. It starts the moment your energy makes its first transmission into the field. Before thought, before speech, before movement, that transmission sets the tone for everything that follows. How others perceive you, what flows toward you, and how much resistance or ease you encounter. Most people begin their day by unconsciously slipping into reaction mode. Their nervous systems get hijacked within minutes. Scrolling through notifications, absorbing chaotic headlines, responding to the demands of others. The energetic signal becomes fragmented, diluted, scattered. But when you take ownership of that very first signal, when you claim the first 10 minutes of your day with precision, you shift from being a passive receiver of energy to becoming an intentional broadcaster. This isn't a morning routine. It's an energetic protocol, and it's about to reset the way you move through time, space, and possibility. Let's begin with the morning energy priming process. When you wake, don't touch your phone. Don't speak. Don't even get out of bed. Keep your eyes closed and place one hand on your chest, the other on your abdomen. Inhale deeply through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Do this 3 times, slow, full, complete breaths. This signals your body that you are safe, present, and in command. Now bring up a single word that represents the energy you want to broadcast today. Maybe it's power, clarity, love, focus. Let it arise intuitively. Then repeat that word internally until you feel it sink into your body, not just as a concept but as a frequency. Let that word become your energetic signature for the day. Next, feel the version of you who already embodies this frequency. The version that doesn't strive for it, but lives it. Not in fantasy but in felt resonance. Let your breath carry that embodiment deeper. This isn't visualization. This is internal tuning. You're not seeing the frequency. You're becoming it. Hold that energy for 90 seconds. Then sit up, place both feet on the ground, and speak this aloud. I now broadcast the frequency of your word. Everything in my field responds in harmony. You've just encoded your field. This is your broadcast. Now move into your day but with intention. As you progress through the morning, you'll notice that your energy stays cleaner, more stable, less reactive. That's not coincidence. That's alignment. But alignment must be reinforced, especially during the energy dip that hits most people by midday. Here's where the midday energy reset comes in. Around the halfway point in your day, find 2 minutes. That's all. 2 minutes of silence. No talking. No screens. Step outside if possible. Place both hands over your solar plexus, the energetic center of willpower and personal direction. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4, hold for 4. Exhale for 4, hold for 4. Repeat this cycle 4 times. This technique interrupts the chaos loop most people unconsciously operate in. It brings your energy back into the present moment, into neutrality, into clarity. Now ask yourself, am I still broadcasting my chosen frequency, or has it been hijacked? If it's still intact, anchor it deeper by reaffirming your word aloud. If it's shifted, don't judge. Just recalibrate. Return to breath. Return to word. Return to energy. This is your power move. You see, most people wait until they feel overwhelmed before they try to fix their energy. But by then, the damage has already spread. You don't need to fix when you master prevention. And now we come to one of the most overlooked times for energy mastery. The evening. The evening energy clearing is not about winding down. It's about energetic hygiene. Think of it like brushing your energy body, removing the invisible residue accumulated throughout the day. As night approaches, light becomes dimmer. Activity slows. The mind softens. But the energy field is still holding imprints. Frustrations, attachments, emotional echoes from interactions you've had. If left unchecked, these energies bleed into your sleep and corrupt your internal programming. So before bed, stand barefoot if possible. Close your eyes. Scan your body from crown to feet. Wherever you feel tightness, heaviness, or heat, place your awareness there. Don't analyze, just witness. Then say, I release any frequency that does not belong to me. Now imagine a gentle current of light washing over you from head to toe. Not as a fantasy, but as a felt sensation. Let it clean. Let it clear. Let it reset. This isn't about belief. It's about bioenergetic response. Your body knows how to let go when you give it permission. And finally, just before sleep, engage the most overlooked aspect of energy programming: pre-sleep intention. As you lay down, speak one sentence internally. As I sleep, I recalibrate to the frequency of your word. Why is this powerful? Because the moments before sleep are when your conscious and subconscious merge. The veil thins. Your dominant thoughts at this time get embedded into the energetic structure of your being. This is when true reprogramming happens, not through effort but through surrender. And that's the hidden code of energy mastery. It's not about forcing energy to obey you. It's about creating the conditions for energy to serve you through rhythm, consistency, and precision. 10 minutes a day is all it takes. But those 10 minutes change your entire field. Because when your mornings begin with clarity, your afternoons stay aligned, your evenings discharge what doesn't serve, and your nights become reprogramming rituals. You don't just protect your energy, you amplify it. You don't just survive the day, you command it. And every time you commit to this protocol, the universe receives your broadcast loud and clear. No static, no distortion, no confusion, just pure, potent frequency. Limitless, charged, unshakable, and in that state, manifestation becomes automatic. Because energy mastery isn't something you try, it's who you become. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary isn't talent or luck. It's energy mastery. You've seen it now, not just heard it, but felt it. There's a force running through every cell of your body, every breath you take, every decision you make. And it's not a concept. It's not a philosophy. It's not even a belief system. It's a technology, a living, breathing system of intelligence that you were born with and taught to forget. But here you are, at the edge of remembering. And now you know, the invisible force you've been ignoring is the one that controls everything. Because energy isn't just some cosmic side note. It is the core operating system. Behind your thoughts, behind your emotions, behind your actions, is frequency. And that frequency is the true creator of your reality. You don't get what you deserve. You don't get what you earn. You get what you are energetically. That's why talent isn't enough. Hard work isn't enough. Even intention isn't enough when it's broadcast through distortion, scarcity, or fear. What separates those who live lives of flow, power, and impact from those who always feel stuck or unseen is one thing. They've learned how to master their energy field. Not control it, not suppress it, not escape it, but master it. Mastery isn't about perfection. It's about relationship. About knowing your own signals, tracking your own flow, reclaiming your own power, and doing it consistently. And now you have the map. You've learned how your energy leaks and how to seal those holes. You've learned how to clear the field and remove the static. You've learned how to transmute negativity and turn emotional poison into personal power. You've learned how to craft an environment that charges you instead of draining you. You've learned how to manifest not through effort, but through frequency alignment. You've learned the daily protocol to maintain all of it, with just minutes of precision each day. This is the real meaning of energy equals magic. Not magic as illusion, not magic as fantasy, but magic as the ancient truth that energy obeys consciousness. And reality obeys energy. You don't need more affirmations. You need alignment. You don't need more motivation. You need momentum. You don't need to chase power. You are the power. But power without awareness is chaotic. Power without clarity is dangerous. And power without mastery, that's where most people live. Exhausted, uncertain, reactive. You don't have to live there anymore. Because now you've remembered what was always yours, your own energetic sovereignty. You've tasted it. You've tuned into it. And once you touch that place within you, the place where intention becomes structure, where emotion becomes motion, where presence becomes transformation, you'll never settle for less again. This is the path of the extraordinary. Not because it's rare, but because it's chosen. You choose to no longer be at the mercy of your environment. You choose to stop handing your power to people, problems, or platforms. You choose to stop waiting and start vibrating. And as you do, you become something unstoppable. Because the world doesn't need more people who know about energy. It needs people who live as energy. Clear, activated, grounded, radiant, charged with the quiet confidence of someone who doesn't need to prove their power, because their presence already speaks for them. That's who you are now. But this isn't the end. This is the start of a new way of being. A way of living where you are no longer controlled by patterns, past, or programming. A way of living where you tune your field daily and let your frequency speak louder than your words. A way of living where manifestation is no longer a mystery. It's your default. And here's your next step. For the next 7 days, commit to this. Start your morning with a frequency check-in. Clear your field in the evening. Protect your energy throughout the day. Use your emotions as fuel. Speak from alignment. Act from clarity. Rest from intention. Track it. Feel it. Watch what happens. Because once you stabilize this energy inside you, the outside world can't help but rearrange in your favor. And soon, the question won't be, how do I attract what I want? It'll be, what else am I capable of, now that I'm finally operating at full power? That's the real magic. And it's already in you. Always has been.